Well, guys, we have just days left in 2022. This is the second video that I've made that I haven't been able to achieve my annual goals. What's up, guys? It's KMAC back again with another video this week, and we're just gonna make a short video with the ending of 2022 just around the corner to update you guys on what my goals for 2022 were and whether or not I achieved them. We're also gonna roll into 2023 and what my goals are looking forward to for that next year. So a year ago, for 2022, I had my sight set on selling 60 homes and $22 million in sales.
Now, if you put that in a sales amount, I was able to do 21 in 2020 and about 24 million in 2021.
So I can tell you, I actually wound up selling north of 60 homes, including referrals. I even did beyond that. And I was lucky and fortunate enough for my self-production to be north of $26 million. That means my goal 22, I was able to surpass by more than $4 million this year. Now, the next goal that I was fortunate enough to achieve, and it's kind of a wonky situation here because I was able to achieve it, but then you fast forward to the end of the year and I'm very, very far away from this goal, was actually getting to about 7 or 8 agents on my real estate team.
In 2022, by the end of the year, I better have at least 10 agents on my team. That means I'm gonna be adding at least 7 more licensed agents onto my team. The goal, though, is not to just bring in agents that are a number on the team. I wanna build a culture here at my local real estate team that people love working for KMAC Realty Group. They love the opportunity and the culture, and really at the end of the day, what I'm able to offer them as a team lead.
If you've been following my journey this year, it's kind of been a whirlwind of effects. I grew a real estate team pretty significantly, realized how expensive it was, and I basically tore it all down to where I have 1 employee left and he's sitting behind this camera. So kind of a funky, yes, I achieved that goal, but I also decided to completely flip my business upside down. And fortunately, moving into 2023, I'm gonna be in a much, much better position financially, just because I have far less overhead. Now, the next goal that I had was actually to travel 2 times international and 2 times domestically. Well, what I can tell you is I've been flying a ton this year, way more than I ever expected. I certainly hit the 2 international trips. I went to Mexico earlier in the year, and I was fortunate enough to be able to go to Europe as well. Now, on top of that, when it comes to domestic flights, I can't even tell you how many flights I've flown domestically, but that was more so just giving myself the opportunity to have more personal life and take a step back in my business and allow myself to enjoy the moment a little bit more rather than the first 3 to 4 years in the business, I was just at the wall, grinding. Now, the next goal that I had set at the beginning of this year was to hit a revenue share payout annually of about $350,000. What revenue share is, if you haven't been following my channel or been following my journey, it allows me within the brokerage that I'm a part of as a real estate agent to grow the company by bringing agents into it. Now, on top of that, they're gonna be paying a split like they would be paying at any other brokerage, and the brokerage that I'm with is actually fortunate enough to be profitable and pay back its agents that help grow the company in a share of revenue. And that revenue essentially is just money in my pocket. Now, again, I had a goal of $350,000 in revenue share payout. I'm gonna be a little bit short of that, but I'm gonna still consider it a success, especially because roughly July, August timeframe is when the real estate market just kind of tumbled and fell off of a cliff. If that market would have continued, I would have seen probably $400,000 to $450,000 as far as a revenue share payout, but I'm sitting at about $320,000 versus the goal of $350,000. That $320,000 though, guys, is completely passive. And the last goal that I was able to achieve, and I kind of took it in even step further, was the fact that I wanted to have a fully functionable office, which I do indeed. I actually have a fully functionable office that I then moved out of, and actually as of earlier this month, have leased out for the next 3 years, creating a positive cash flow on a 20-year commercial deal or 20-year commercial note, which is not necessarily the easiest to do, because if you have a 30-year fixed note and you cram that into 20, your mortgage is obviously going to be much more. And the fact that I can cash flow on a 20-year note is a good thing moving forward, especially, essentially if I pay that off in the next 20 years, I'm going to be sitting with a $2 million property that I own outright. And the other goal that I had was to buy a short-term rental. kind of cheated in a sense here, but I still blew it way outside the water. I was able to sell one of my properties, or my duplex that I had a VA loan on. It was actually the very, very first property that I ever purchased back in 2017. I used the proceeds from that and actually bought a substantially large cabin in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. It is still in the process of being built. I think we're looking at maybe April to May completion time for that. But when that is completed, we're going to be looking at north of $500 the minimum per night renting out, north of maybe $2,000 a night during peak time for the daily rental up at my cabin. Also, in addition to that, technically, it's not falling in the year of 2022, but about 15 days into 2023, I'm actually closing on a long-term rental in Florida. Now let's hop over to, unfortunately, the downside of 2022 and the goals that I was not able to achieve. I'm going to start here with YouTube and the subscriber count. I'm only sitting at about 3,700, 3,800 subscribers at the end of 2022. I really wanted to be north of 5,000 subscribers, but what I can tell you is YouTube is a grind. I don't think I've done anything else in my life that is as much of a grind as YouTube is. So if you're watching this and you have a desire to start a YouTube channel, my suggestion was you should have started 10 years ago because it was way easier then. But it doesn't mean I'm going to stop creating content. It just means that when it comes to subscriber count over the entire year of 2022, it was just like 5 new subs today. 8 new subs today. There was no spike in any kind of subscriber count, unfortunately. I think I've got to kind of get lucky like you do on TikTok with a viral video, and at that point you may have some spike in kind of subscriber count. But I'm going to continue to make 2 YouTube videos a week. Going to create more short content with the hope of maybe having one of those spike and take off. But for now, I was far shy of the 5,000 subscribers I was hoping for at the end of 2022. So beyond subscriber count, one of the biggest failures, or I guess goals, that I wasn't able to achieve this year was really the goal of building a team. Now, I had mentioned just earlier in this video, I had about 7 agents on my team and about 4 to 5 staff. I had an office building we were all operating out of. And now I have this studio set up in my office at home. I've rented out that building and no longer actually utilize my building for my team because I got rid of all those 7 or 8 agents. Okay, I also got rid of everyone on staff except for my videographer who also edits. No one really tells you how expensive it is to run a real estate company. I technically am making more money if I just sell homes on my own and continue to build my other passive income streams like my rental properties and my revenue share. So that's really what I'm moving into 2023 about, is to just build passive income in any kind of direction I can. So by no team as of the end of December 2022 means, yes, I wasn't able to have the agents within my team create or close 75 transactions. Now, 75 transactions would have been far more profitable and my business would still be running in terms of the team if they were to have been able to produce that. But a majority of them weren't producing. A majority of them were not showing up to work, were not actually participating in any kind of advice or any kind of, I guess, guidance I was willing to give them. It was more or less, let me see how much I can take and then get upset about how much I'm actually giving up for being on the team. So yes, I wasn't able to hit that 75 agent transaction volume amount with the agents on my team. They roughly did about 10 million in sales, which if you're computing that to, I guess total amounts of transactions, they were probably looking at the 35 to maybe 40 range of total transactions. So half of really what I was hoping for them to do. And the other thing that I was not fortunate enough to be able to achieve was my revenue share total agent count within my brokerage. So Real Brokerage is the brokerage I work for. I was hoping for about 500 agents underneath me by the end of this year. I'm sitting right now with about a week left in 2022 with a ton of conversations happening. So that 500 agent count that I was hoping for, I didn't get quite to, but I could say it's certainly going to happen in 2023. But I'm sitting at about 357 agents right now. Again, that 500 agent count is certainly going to be a number that I hit in 2023. So that basically sums up where my 2022 lies. I can tell you it was a mixed year or a mixed bag. I was able to accomplish quite a bit, but there were also some levels of frustration with more so just mostly the real estate team. But moving into 2023, I've got all of that behind me. I'm excited to see how much more profitable I can be moving forward. So my 2023 goals, what are those going to be? I can tell you, I'm gonna only have 2 staff members, my videographer and editor, and a business manager moving forward. That's really all I need to be able to do what I need to do. So my self-production, I'm not gonna go outside of the norm and think anything crazy. I'm still in that $20 to $25 million range. Total production for myself moving forward. I want to still be able to do as many referrals as I can within the agents across the country, meaning if you individually need an agent in your market and you reach out to me, I will then refer you to a great agent in your local market. But that's besides the point as far as my volume is concerned. I'm still looking a solid 20 to 25 million in volume for 2023. Other 2022 goals that I'm really just gonna be using kind of slide over or move over to 2023 is my YouTube subscriber count. I was hoping for 5,000. Obviously came far from that, so I'm gonna slide that to a 2023 goal and hopefully wind up in that 5,000 to 6,000 subscriber count in the year 2023. And to top that, also when it comes to my agents at Real Brokerage, 500 was the hope for 2022. I know I'm gonna hit that in 2023, so I'm gonna be between that 500 and 600 agent count for 2023. Now, as far as investing in real estate, I have a huge goal for 2023. It's not to acquire a property, it's not to buy a bunch of rentals or buy a short-term rental. It's actually gonna be this very property that I've been living in for the last 2+ years. I'm hoping to contract a build job and a lot job all together in a commercial note. Once it's finished in 2024, I'll refinance and use my VA loan, but that's gonna be a primary residence and probably something that I spend the next 10 to 20 years in. And that primary residence, again, I'm gonna be refinancing out of a commercial construction loan to a VA loan in 2024. But the goal for 2023 is to be able to find the lot, contract with the builder, and get the ball rolling. So really 2023 is just cleaning up my business, being as profitable as I can, paying off what I need to pay off, and save as much as I can for that large project in the future. So this is the 3rd type of video that I've made like this, mainly because I want to be able to look back at myself at the end of 2020 with the goals that I had for 2021. You know, maybe it'd be 5-10 years down the road. I want to be able to look at this particular video that I filmed in 2022 to see how I finish out 2023 next year, and so on and so forth. And all it does is really motivate me more. For instance, like a year of 2022 where there was a lot of hiccups and a lot of change of direction, to just motivate me further for 2023 to accomplish everything that I want to accomplish. Thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help. And stay tuned for the next video.